Hey everyone, in this video we're going to learn how to fill out a 12-tone matrix. Sounds fun, right? Let's get started. Okay, so the matrix is a way to take the prime form of the row with all of its transpositions and the inversion of the row with all of its transpositions and put them all into a single 12 by 12 grid. As you can see here, I have the prime form of the row here on the staff, and I have the inversion of the row on that staff. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the prime form of the row and I'm going to write it in these boxes in letters from left to right in the top row. So I'm going to start with B flat, and then A, and then F, D, C, F sharp, G, D sharp, C sharp, G sharp, B, and E. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my inversion of the row and I'm going to write it in this first column straight down. So B flat is the first note, which is shared. Now I'm also going to show you a different way to do this. I put this on the staff so you can see what an inversion is, that it's actually a mirror image. There's actually an easier way, if you deal with letters like this, to get to these notes than to have to think of these large intervals. For example, if I think B flat to A is down a half step, then my first note this way is the opposite, up a half step. Whereas here I was thinking of major seventh up, major seventh down, which is a little bit more difficult to think of. I can get to the same note with the enharmonic equivalent if I think in smaller intervals. So I'm going to do that process here now and show you that. So the first thing is B flat to A down a half step, B flat to B up a half step. I could have also thought B flat to A up a major seventh, B flat to C flat down a major seventh, but that seems to be a little more difficult to me. So I always think of the smallest distance and then go the other way. And now from the second note to the third note, I do the same thing. So A to F is down a major third, so I'm going to go up a major third. And I could write D sharp or E flat. I'm going to go ahead and use E flat. Now F to D is down a minor third, so I go up a minor third. D to C is down a step, G flat to A flat is up a step. C to F sharp is a tritone, A flat to D is a tritone. F sharp up to G is a half step up, D down to D flat is a half step down. G to D sharp, and now I have to think enharmonically to make it easy. That's actually down a major third if I think of it as E flat. So I'm going to go up a major third here. And then down a whole step here. I'm going to go up a whole step here. And then I have up a perfect fifth. So I am going to go down a perfect fifth. And then G sharp to B is up a minor third, so I'm going to go down a minor third. And then B up to E is up a perfect fourth, so I'm going to go down a perfect fourth. Now the first thing I want to do is make sure that I have 12 different letters here, or else my entire matrix is going to be wrong. So I cannot afford to mess that process up. So I typically like to start on C and make sure every one of the notes is here. C, C sharp, D, E flat, E, F, F sharp, G, A flat, A, B flat, B. So I have one of every note or its enharmonic equivalent. So I know that I did this correctly. Now at this point, it's all a matter of doing transpositions. There's different ways you can get to the rest of this matrix, but what we're going to end up doing is we're going to have this prime form straight across with all of its transpositions. But the transposition that you're starting on is whatever letter showed up here. So if I do this row, I'm showing that the prime form up 1/2 step. So I can just take everybody up 1/2 step. If I'm doing this row, I'm showing the prime form that's been transposed up 1/4. So every note will be transposed up 1/4 from this line to this line. So this would be the P0. This is P1, transposition level 1, 1/2 step up. This one would not be P2, even though it's the second one down. P2 would actually start on C, which would be this one. So I would number them 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would actually be P5. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to just go left to right, which is my preferred method of filling out the matrix. And I'm going to just do some transpositions. And again, enharmonics don't really matter. If you end up with sharps or flats, it's okay. So I'm going to do that process now. And if you'd like to do that with me, that would be great. Otherwise, you can skip down to the 14-minute, 54-second marker in the video. B flat up 1/2 step is B, A up 1/2 step is B. I'm just taking everybody up 1/2 step. F up 1/2 step. D up 1/2 step. C up 1/2 step. F sharp up 1/2 step. G up 1/2 step. D up sharp up 1/2 step. C sharp up 1/2 step. G sharp up 1/2 step. B up 1/2 step. And E up 1/2 step. Now if I want to be really thorough, I'll check every line to make sure I have one of every note so I didn't make a mistake. So I have C, C sharp, D, E flat, E, F, F sharp, G, A flat, A, B flat, and B. So this one is going to be a perfect 4th up from the original. So I'm going to always start at the original. In case I make a mistake here and I start doing intervals off of my mistake, I just compound the problem. So I always start with this line and then do whatever I'm on. So here I'm going to go up a perfect 4th from the original. B flat up a perfect 4th to E flat. A up to D is a perfect 4th. F up to B flat. D up to G. C up to F. F sharp up to B. G up to C. D up to G is a 4th, so that means D sharp to G sharp is also a perfect 4th. C sharp to F sharp, G sharp to C sharp, B to E, E to A. The distance between B flat and G flat is down a major 3rd. So I'm going to take every note down a major 3rd. So major 3rd down from A is F, and then D flat, and then B flat, A flat up to C is a major 3rd, D to F sharp is a major 3rd, E flat to G is a major 3rd, B to D sharp is a major 3rd, A to C sharp is a major 3rd, E to G sharp is a major 3rd, G to B is a major 3rd, and C to E is a major 3rd. C, C sharp, D, E flat, E, F, F sharp, G, A flat, A, B flat, B. Okay. Now B flat to A flat is a whole step down, so this whole line needs to be a whole step down from the original. So A down to G is a step, F down to E flat is a step, D down to C is a step, C down to B flat is a step, F sharp down to E is a step, G down to F, C sharp up to D sharp is a step, B to C sharp is a step, F sharp to G sharp is a step, A to B, and D to E. Now I'm going up a major 3rd for this entire line. because B flat up to D is a major third. So it's all transposed up a major third. A to C sharp, F to A, D to F sharp, C to E, F sharp to A sharp, G to B. D sharp to G is a tricky one because I'm thinking E flat up to G is a major third. Let's see, C sharp, I'm going up major thirds. C sharp up to F is a major third, and harmonically. G sharp up to C, I'm thinking A flat to C, it's easier to think. And then B to D sharp, and then E to G sharp. All right, B flat up to D flat is a minor third up, so I'm going to take everybody up a minor third. A up to C, F up to A flat, D up to F, C up to E flat, F sharp up to A, G up to B flat, E flat up to G flat, I think harmonically when it's easier. C sharp up to E is a minor third, G sharp up to B is a minor third, B up to D, and E up to G. And we can always go back and check C, C sharp, D, E flat, E, F, F sharp, G, A flat, A, B flat, and B. All right, B flat up to F is a perfect fifth, so I'm taking this whole row up a perfect fifth from the original. So A up to E, F up to C, D up to A, C up to G, F sharp up to C sharp, G up to D. I'm thinking E flat up to B flat, and C sharp up to G sharp, G sharp up to D sharp, B up to F sharp, E up to B. Okay, B flat up to G is a major sixth up, or you could think of it as a minor third down. I'm going to think of it as a major sixth up. And so B flat up to G is a major six, A up to F sharp is a major six, F up to D, D up to B, C up to A, D sharp. I'm thinking of the sixth note in these major scales. This is a C essentially, if I think E flat. Major sixth up from C sharp is A sharp. C to A is a major sixth, so C sharp to A sharp is also a major sixth. Here I'm going to think A flat because it's easier. A flat up to F is a major six. B up to G sharp is a major six. And E up to C sharp. Okay, B flat up to C is a whole step. So I'm taking everybody up one whole step. F up to G, D up to E, C up to D, F sharp to G sharp, G up to A, E flat to F, C sharp to D sharp, G sharp to A sharp, B to C sharp, and E to F sharp. All right, B flat to A is down a half step. So I'm taking everybody down a half step. A to A flat, F to E, D to D flat, C to B, F sharp to F, G to F sharp, D sharp to D, C sharp to C, G sharp to G, B to B flat, E down to E flat. And lastly, I have B flat to E, which is a tritone away. So I'm going to do perfect fifths minus a half step, and that will be a tritone. This will be E flat, F and B, A flat, F sharp or G flat, F sharp up to C, G is C sharp or D flat. This is A. Yeah, I think of E flat up to B flat and then down a half step is A. C sharp up to G sharp, down a half step is G. This is a D. F and B flat. All right, now if you did it right, you will see going from the top left to bottom right the same pitch class inharmonically, depending on how you wrote it. So I see all B flats are A sharps. That gives me an indication that I did it right. Still doesn't mean that I didn't make any errors in here. Could have made an error or two, but the only way to check that is to check every line and make sure you have all 12 notes. Now, once we get our matrix, we need to learn how to label it. So what we've essentially done is we created all the P transpositions. So the prime form of the row goes this way. And when we label the matrix, we'll put P for prime form, put an arrow to the right showing that it's read left to right. And then we're going to put the transposition levels. P0 is the untransposed form of the P row. If I go up 1/2 step to B, I've transposed everybody up 1/2 step, so that is P1. If I go up another 1/2 step to C, I will have transposed everyone up 2/2 steps. So that is P2. And then I just keep going up 1/2 steps to C sharp, which is P3, D is P4, E flat is P5, E is P6, F is P7, F sharp is P8, G is 9, A flat is 10, and A is 11. Okay, once we have all of our P forms, then we need to identify the I forms. The I0 is this row, which is read down. So we're going to put the letter I for inversion and write the down arrow for all of our inversions. And we'll do the same things with the transpositions of the I row. So the I row, the untransposed version is this. So if I start on a 1/2 step up, it's going to be the I1. If I start a whole step up, it's the I2, etc. So to identify I1, I have to find the row that starts on B, which is here. So that's transposition level 1/2 step up from the I0. Then I go to the pitch C, going straight down, and that's going to be transposition level 2 from the original inversion, and so forth. So I'm going to work my way up from B flat, B, C, C sharp is 3, D is 4, E flat is 5, E is 6, F is 7, F sharp is 8, G is 9, G sharp is 10, and A is 11. So I8 would be that, I7 would be that, etc. And then we have the retrograde versions of that row and that row. So retrograde is the backwards of the primes. So anything backwards is this. Now I don't label all these, but if I did, I could label them. If I did, they would be these same numbers over here. So these letters aren't transposition markers. They're the ends of these transpositions. So for example, P3 backwards is this. So that's R3. And P5 backwards is R5. So that's R5. So it uses this same number. So I don't need numbers over here, and I don't need numbers down here because I'm using these numbers on that side. And the last thing I need to label is my inversion of my retrograde of the inversion rows. So let's say I want to do I8, but I want to use it backwards. I'm going to call it retrograde inversion 8. So the retrograde inversion is Ri, and they move from bottom to top. So this is how we label and fill out our matrix. All the I rows go top to bottom. The prime row, the P rows go left to right. Retrograde, right to left, and retrograde inversion from bottom to top. I know that's a lot of tedious work, but unfortunately, analyzing 12-tone music includes a lot of tedious detective work to determine the row being presented at any given time. Thankfully, though, once we do have the matrix completely filled out, it actually does help us in our analyses. In the next video, 12-tone music part 4, we'll find out how to use and apply the matrix in analyzing the pitch content of 12-tone pieces.